It is not easy to build a smartphone. It is even harder if you plan to ditch iOS and Android altogether. In fact, it has been tried and failed a number of times. So much is needed in order to create a successful project of this type. You need hardware, software, and just as importantly, a community of dedicated developers. Purism is just now solving the hardware problem by releasing the Librem 5. A crowd of hungry Linux developers and enthusiasts eagerly await this device. And the software has direction and the solid base of Debian. We know what we want, we know what it will run on, and we have a growing community to do it. The importance of software direction cannot be understated. This is a GNOME stack running on a standard display protocol. It focuses on convergence and security. This is in stark contrast with what Ubuntu Touch tried to pull off. They wanted to reinvent a new display protocol called Mir. They also focused on Unity as the base GUI. At the end of the day, the Librem 5 advances the mobile Linux story, while Ubuntu Touch mostly advanced deprecated Ubuntu software. However, time will tell if Ubi ports can rise from the ashes. Having dedicated in-house hardware is a huge advantage. Purism has chosen every chip that will go into the Librem 5, which gives them an edge for driver support. And it would seem that Purism is dedicated to improve and upstream the hardware drivers. This means that other distributions that want to use the Librem 5 hardware can take advantage of a lot of the hard work that Purism is doing. Replacing a mature platform like iOS and Android does not happen overnight. Much still needs done first, but the progress has been incredible to follow. In this perfect storm of hardware, direction, and a growing community, let's see what Purism managed to pull off this year so far. From horrifyingly ugly to pretty okay to completely standard, the keyboard has seen a lot of revisions. When I first got to test out the keyboard, it was this ugly white disaster thing. But as a positive, it did have a way to press Ctrl-C, Escape, and those other terminal-friendly keys. Then later, we had a much nicer themed version of this keyboard. No usability changes, just a nicer look and feel. This keyboard was eventually replaced, and now we have something that looks quite standard. The alignment is much improved and feels way more on par with a standard smartphone experience. The only downside is the terminal inputs are not there, so no arrow keys, Ctrl-C, or Tab. I'm guessing at some point we'll have a way to switch between these two different keyboards so that we'll be able to interface with GUI applications and terminal applications just fine. The web browser is one of the fastest moving pieces of software. Improvements and changes are common after every update or reflash. One of the biggest changes is the improved rendering on the small screen. Originally, a lot of the web pages had content cut off. This has been very much improved, where now every website I've tested looks very good in the mobile form factor. Another big change is the performance, which continues to improve day by day. The UI has also seen some love. It is very touch-friendly, and you can also make web app shortcuts. The app drawer has also seen some incremental changes. Originally, the app drawer did not have X's to close out applications, and originally it didn't display all of the .desktop files, only displaying a couple pre-installed applications. Now it displays all regular .desktop files like you would expect any menu to. And of course, the performance is miles better than it used to be. Here we can take a look at the almost default GNOME settings. Even with this odd form factor, you can see much of the content is still cut off on the right. This is true on most, if not all, of the screens. Somewhere around July, I was able to test on the dev kit, and they had fixed a lot of the display issues. It was still pretty common, though, to get stuck with some unadapted screen, requiring like escape on the keyboard or some touch input that's rendered off screen. As of just about a week ago, just about everything is working fine. There are still a few small UI bugs, but they aren't app breaking like they used to be. They have also added a cellular category, but I won't be able to play with this much until I have a Librem 5 with a working baseband. A lot of small yet critical bugs have also been fixed. Rotating the display with the keyboard open used to force you to have to reboot the device due to the keyboard being in full screen with none of the other UI elements being present. This is no longer the case. The file selection dialog used to be completely unusable. Purism has done a great job porting this, and it does look great now. The scrolling frame rate went from, well, this to a bit more manageable speed. I expect the overall smoothness of this device to be considerably improved over the lifetime of the Librem 5. Stability has also improved quite a lot. When I first got the dev kit, it was common for the UI to lock up or the phone to completely power cycle. I have seen the keyboard get messed up, a random cursor appear out of nowhere, and of course that weird keyboard bug. While it does still crash from time to time, I can now develop for hours without a crash. This is a big difference compared to how it used to be, where it would crash at least every hour. It still has a way to go, but this is a great start. I also made a bit of progress on AdBox. After copying and hacking a few libraries into place, we can now see that it complains about matching GLX visuals. Not really sure what that means, but hey, it's progress. All that in less than a year, which puts to shame the glacier-like progress of something like the Gemini PDA. I, for one, cannot wait to contribute to the next modern smartphone experience. Thanks for watching. Bye.